So today, my proposal is that diaphragmatic breathing can help lower cognitive state anxiety levels. And hopefully, as I elaborate and discuss this, we can apply this to Brad and his worrying thoughts in matches. And hopefully, this can lower some of like how much he thinks and how much he visualizes bad scenarios of him like making mistakes and whatnot. So before anything else, before I explain, why diaphragmatic breathing is good and why it helps and what research has found, I'd like to first quickly demonstrate how to properly do it. So this is just one variation. There are different ways, but the way I'm going to show you today is with your hands on your hips. So just observe. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your hands on your hips. You're going to breathe in and out through the nose. You want to inhale for 5 seconds slowly. And really, as you do it, notice the breath going into your nose and notice your hips expanding. And then as you breathe out, I want you to notice your hips coming back in together and just feel the oxygen coming in and feel the carbon dioxide coming out. So just observe. So with this exercise, this is something you can do for about maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day, and you can even do numerous times a day. As I think that will help. As some people might suffer high levels of anxiety. They might require more diaphragmatic breathing than others. We all like have stress of different amounts. Now I want to talk about why I believe that this can actually help Brad. So there have been numerous articles that have said that, this can target cognitive anxiety. It also can help reduce cortisol levels. It helps stabilize your nervous system and slows down your heartbeat. And it can even stabilize your blood pressure, which, are physiological responses of the body relaxing and being in a healthy state. So, with this evidence, I believe that this can really help Brad with his worrying thoughts. I think that the way to implement this, sorry, is what you would want to do is get the competitive state anxiety inventory or the CSAI2 um and do this on Brad, obviously before and after like his game time. Get him to practice this, in his own time, just in general, because he might still like obviously there's his worrying thoughts during and just before the game, but like he hasn't like announced that, he could be having the exact same thoughts, outside the pitch, like even in his own home. He might still worry about the same situation because they've actually happened. So what I would recommend to him is to try doing these in his own time and noticing if he thinks about it less or if he worries about it less, and or if he does worry, like, is it as bad as what he first felt? The way to measure this though, in terms of, the CSAI, is what I think you should do is have him undergo like the CSAI maybe just before the game, or get him to do it before the game and measure his results before and after diaphragmatic breathing just before kickoff, just to see if he feels a difference and see if he feels like, a lot calmer just before the match. And what you can even do to measure it is see how he plays in the first half, for example. And then even if possible, you can get him to take the same inventory, just at halftime. So let's say, the diaphragmatic breathing, like if it worked, let's say it did work, you could like talk to him, see how he feels, and then you could maybe measure and like, you would expect to see a much more positive outcome from that inventory, like let's say halftime, assuming everything goes well, compared to before the game and before the diaphragmatic breathing. So if you were to take on those three occasions, you would notice like a decline in the results in terms of, how high stress levels are. And this would be I think the optimal way to measure, the efficacy of, diaphragmatic breathing. The only problem with diaphragmatic breathing, unfortunately, is that it is limited in research and hasn't been linked to help with sports performance specifically, but has been helped to calm down people in other scopes of, just general cognitive anxiety. And obviously, there's not a lot of research on state anxiety specifically, but cognitive state anxiety is just like an aspect of cognitive anxiety in general. There are different types, but it has been found to help with a broad scope of cognitive anxiety as a whole. So this is why I believe that it can help Brad with his worrying thoughts.